Hey everybody, I was just about to start watering my plants and I realized I forgot to make a video for last month. Whoops. Anyways, I'll quickly make one now and then I'll get to watering everybody because it's supposed to be pretty warm today and I want them to get some time before it gets hot at the back of the house to soak up some water. Anyways, I've continued on with my quarantine repotting and I've gotten almost all of my catasetums moved over into just straight moss. And I think that that's going to be the way I do it from now on instead of bark because I'm getting a lot better results with it. Like this one that's way in there in the back, this one right here, it's doing really good because my main problem, what I noticed was that when it was in like bark or like the Lake of Pebbles, is that I waited too long and then the growth would dry out and then I'd be screwed. Like a good example is this one. Let me pull it out so you can see. This one right here. It's in bark and its new growth started growing. It's that one right there. And if it would focus. And it grew a bit and I guess I didn't water it enough or in time, or it didn't take up enough water, but the leaves dried up on it and it started pushing out to new growth. So I've been trying to stay on top of watering this one as best as I can so that those growths grow bigger so that hopefully I can save it for this season. And then next season it'll take off and I'll move it over into moss and then hopefully it'll do well like all the other ones. As I was saying, this one is growing really well. I've just started watering it just with plain water. The roots are taking it up real nicely, so I'm really happy with that. And I did double check. The roots are reaching the bottom of the pot for most of them, so that's why I decided to start watering. All my other guys, I have them sitting in front of my humidifier so that they get some nice boost to humidity. I'm really excited about this one right here because I got it last year at the Fraser Valley Orchid Society from Tension, and it had rot on this one bulb, this one growth right here, the tall one, and I was kind of worried that it wouldn't live. But Matt from Tension said if it didn't to let him know, but as you can see, it's doing really well. It's growing nicely, so once it's growing a bit bigger, I'll probably move it out and swap it with one that's got a little nub. This one right here has a little nub growing. I need to move it over. I'll probably do that today too into moss. But all these other ones, this one right here had a growth starting when I moved it to the moss, and I think I actually snapped it off. So I'm probably gonna have to wait for it to grow another one, but that's okay, I don't mind. I'm really excited about my Rebecca Northern because, oh, stupid mist. It's making it, I'm gonna move that. But it's actually growing a new growth as well. So I quickly moved it over into moss too to try and save it because I really want it to do well. One that I'm really disappointed about is there in the back. That's my Cycnochus Wine Delight. I just can't seem to get this one to do anything. Like whenever I grow this, I just fail so bad with this one. So I think this might be my last attempt with it. But it started to grow a new growth, and then for some reason the growth just dried up. I don't know if it was because of a heat wave or something. It wasn't enough humidity. So I got kind of choked about that. But then I started noticing little nubbins growing on the bulb higher up, and it turns out it's little growths starting. So I have them sitting on top of moss, as you can see, and they've got little roots starting. So hopefully they'll be able to take off. The repotting, I've started to repot some up here on the top shelf too. I repotted my frags finally. My fish rye I have in a pro mix, and I only did that a little bit ago, so I can't tell if it's liking it or not. I cut the one spike off because it was done, but the other spike is still producing blooms. So I'm letting that one go. My Shimlei, which is bone dry, I need to water it really bad. When I tried to take it out of the pot, I couldn't. There was so many roots that it was literally packed into the pot, and it took me about 20 minutes to wrestle the thing out. So I decided not to put it in Pro Mix. I put it back into Orchiata bark since it seemed to really like that. And I put the moss back on top, and it seems to be doing really well. My Bessier is not doing so great. I put it in Pro Mix because the new growths that it was producing were drying up. See, it made 2 new growths, but they're drying up. So I put that in Pro Mix to see. It did not have a good root system on it. So I'm hoping that in the Pro Mix it'll help it keep moisture and it'll grow a little bit more roots, so it'll do better. Oh, I do have some blooms coming other than the frag. I have a few more buds coming on my Dendrobium Frostodon. There's those 3, and then higher up by the light I have 2 more coming in. And oh yeah, the biggest one. I didn't even know this was blooming until all of a sudden my whole kitchen started smelling like candy. It's my Phalaenopsis corningiana. If it'll focus, it won't focus. There we go. Corningiana, it started to bloom. And the best part is it's not 1 bloom. It's 2. So I got it on both sides growing on 2 different spikes. It's really happy. So, and then I knock it over. Good job, me. So that one needs to be repotted as well. And then I also repotted my Phalaenopsis, whatchamacallit, Gigantea, into a mix of Pro Mix and Orchiata. And it's starting to grow a new root already, so that's really good. And then, you know, everybody's just growing. I have lost a couple plants in the back there that I can't really get to most of the time. It was just a Dendrobium that I wasn't really wholly invested in. So, you know, no big loss there. My Brassivola nodosa is doing really good. Down on the bottom shelf, though, things are going a little gross. I'm going to lose my Paf dillanatii. I've accepted that. I've come to terms with it. There's nothing I can do. That thing has struggled since I've gotten it. But everybody else seems to be doing really well. Maverick wants to say hello. But, oh yeah, my Paf colossum is in bud. The one that's like sprouting out 5 or 6 new growths. But it's kind of hit or miss down here. They're either doing really well or they're really struggling. So like my Phalaenopsis bellina right next to the colossum, that thing is toast. I'm gonna have to get a new one. I'm not gonna get it from Tsinghua. I'll get it from somebody else who is more reputable and someone I trust better. But yeah, everybody else is like growing really well. I have to repot my big Paf in the back because I need to lower it down so I can start making more roots. But some of the cats in the back, I'm seriously thinking of getting rid of them because they start to grow their new growths and then the growths just go brown and disgusting and die. So I think they've either got something or, I don't know, they're just not happy. I might try repotting them once more and see how they do. And if they don't stop doing this, then I'm just probably going to turf them. At least those 2. I'll keep my my white bridal that's over there in the corner because it's doing okay. These 2 in the front, they're pretty much struggling. My Marii, this is my Encyclia Marii. It has always struggled. I got it and it was really small and it didn't have a very good root system, so it's always been behind everybody else. And then this one is my Prostechia guttata. It just tanked. It wasn't doing well. It did not have good roots at all. It's starting to grow a new growth, so I'm letting it stay kind of dry until the new growth gets a little bit bigger so that it doesn't rot. But over here, people are doing okay. This guy's really dehydrated, so I threw some water in it last night because it's been really weird weather here. It's been really cool at night and it's super hot during the day. Anyways, it's really dry. It probably also didn't really like that I repotted it, but it's growing a new growth down in there too. So hopefully it'll start making some new roots. Oh, and my Phalaenopsis kingfisher canary dragon is aborting its spike. It was never able to make buds. Every time it made a bud, it blasted. And I think that was because I had it sitting over behind at the back where my heat vent is, and so it was just getting too hot. So I've moved it over to the side now, and I'm going to be repotting this one back into a Pro Mix because that's what it was originally grown in, so hopefully it'll like that better. But yeah, everybody else is doing okay. I still have buds and blooms on my Equestris, which is doing well. And yeah, I've got a couple things gonna bloom for me, a couple things that are just growing, but I'm still in the process of repotting everything. Hopefully I will have the bottom shelf repotted by the end of this month, and then I will work to repot the rest of the top shelf. But the stuff that's in my front window is doing amazing. I would go in there, but it's really early in the morning right now, and people are sleeping, so I don't want to wake them up. Oh, I almost forgot. There's a new spike coming on one of my other phals. I think this is Valtinii. I think, yeah, it's Valtinii. Yeah. So, but yeah, everybody's doing okay. My Vanda is slowly coming back. I'm soaking it almost every day now for about half an hour to 45 minutes, and it's got good root tips. So I'm hoping I can keep my cat away from it so it stops munching it. Ay, my poor plant. It wasn't this cat. It wasn't this one. He was the good one. It was my other one. But yeah, everybody's growing, except for the few that are struggling. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well and staying safe. And I hope you're buying lots of plants. I will talk to you later. And yeah, you have a good day. Bye.